Hello, guys. Today we dive deep into the life of a woman that is a powerful testament to intellectual perseverance, demonstrating how an individual's innate talent and unwavering dedication can overcome immense prejudice and leave an indelible mark on the landscape of human knowledge. In the tumultuous, blood-soaked years of the French Revolution, when the very foundations of society were being violently reshaped, a quiet, extraordinary revolution was taking place within the walls of a Parisian home. Sophie Germain, 1776 to 1831, a young woman of fierce intellect and unyielding determination, embarked on a forbidden quest, the self-taught mastery of mathematics and physics. In an era where women were systematically excluded from universities, deemed intellectually inferior, and confined to domesticity, Sophie's brilliance and her audacious pursuit of knowledge were a profound scandal to the established order. She corresponded with the greatest mathematical minds of her time, including Lagrange and Gauss, under a male pseudonym, M. LeBlanc, to be taken seriously. Her groundbreaking work became fundamental to number theory and the theory of elasticity, yet her dazzling discoveries and undeniable genius remained, for far too long, tragically shrouded in the shadows, a direct consequence of the suffocating gender barriers of her time. Born into an affluent bourgeois family in Paris, Sophie's childhood coincided with the explosive dawn of the French Revolution. The streets outside her home seethed with chaos and violence, forcing her to seek refuge within the quiet sanctuary of her father's library. It was there, amidst the dusty tomes, that she stumbled upon the story of Archimedes, who, legend says, was so engrossed in a mathematical problem that he failed to notice the Roman soldier who ultimately killed him. This tale ignited a spark within Sophie, a realization that mathematics offered an escape, a realm of pure, immutable truth amidst the world's madness. Her parents, however, viewed her intellectual pursuits as utterly inappropriate for a young woman. They confiscated her candles, denied her access to a fire, and even removed her warm clothes at night, hoping to deter her by making study impossible in the freezing, unlit room. But Sophie, fueled by an insatiable hunger for knowledge, would wrap herself in quilts, light smuggled candles, and pore over her father's books, teaching herself Latin and Greek to read scientific texts, and devouring works on algebra and calculus. This defiant self-education, a constant battle against family disapproval and societal expectations, was her first, deeply personal act, a quiet rebellion against the very fabric of her upbringing. The true act of defiance of Sophie's early career lay in her audacious deception. When the École Polytechnique, a prestigious scientific academy, was founded in Paris, women were strictly forbidden from attending. Undeterred, Sophie managed to obtain lecture notes and assignments from courses, particularly those taught by the renowned mathematician Joseph Louis Lagrange. To submit her work and receive feedback without revealing her gender, she adopted the male pseudonym M. LeBlanc, a name borrowed from a former student of Lagrange. Lagrange was so impressed by the brilliance of M. LeBlanc's submissions that he requested a meeting. It was then that Sophie's true identity was revealed. Lagrange, far from being offended, was astonished and deeply impressed by her talent. This unmasking was a quiet deed within academic circles, a revelation that challenged preconceived notions about female intellectual capacity. Lagrange became her mentor, opening doors to a world that would otherwise have remained closed. Her most famous correspondence under pseudonym was with the legendary German mathematician Carl Friedrich Gauss. During the Napoleonic Wars, fearing for Gauss's safety in the occupied city of Brunswick, Sophie used her connections to send a message to the French general requesting protection for him. Gauss, surprised by the intervention, later learned that his mysterious correspondent, M. LeBlanc, was in fact a woman. His reaction, though initially one of astonishment, quickly turned to profound admiration. In a letter to her, he wrote, "The scientific world will be astonished by your success. You elevate yourself to the rank of the most illustrious savants." This public acknowledgement from the Prince of Mathematicians was a significant, albeit rare, moment of recognition for her scandalous gender. Sophie Germain's work was truly groundbreaking. In number theory, she made significant contributions to Fermat's last theorem, proving a special case that had eluded mathematicians for centuries. Her work on Sophie Germain primes P where 2p plus 1 is also prime, remains a vital area of study. However, her most celebrated work, and one that brought her into direct public competition, was in the theory of elasticity. The French Academy of Sciences offered a prize for a mathematical explanation of Ernst Chladni's vibrating plates, which produced intricate patterns when sprinkled with sand. This was a highly public and prestigious competition. Sophie submitted her work anonymously, under M. LeBlanc again, but her initial submissions were flawed. Undeterred, she persevered, teaching herself advanced calculus and physics, eventually submitting a winning essay in 1816. This achievement was a monumental offense, a woman winning a prestigious scientific prize from an institution that barred her from its membership. Yet, even after winning, she was not allowed to attend the Academy's sessions, nor was her work fully integrated into the mainstream of scientific discourse. Her brilliance was acknowledged, but her presence was still deemed unacceptable. The prize was hers, but full acceptance remained elusive, a bitter prejudice. Despite her undeniable genius, her groundbreaking discoveries, and the admiration of the leading mathematicians of her era, Sophie Germain remained largely an outsider. She was never granted an academic position, never received a formal degree, though an honorary one from Göttingen was planned by Gauss shortly before her death, and her access to scientific communities remained informal and often through the grace of male mentors. The defiance here is not her actions, but the profound injustice of a system that actively suppressed talent based solely on gender. Her contributions were often cited without full attribution, or her name was omitted from official records, a subtle but pervasive form of erasure. She was a woman who proved her intellectual equality time and again, only to be met with the persistent, polite, but firm, brick wall of institutional sexism. Sophie Germain passed away in 1831 from breast cancer, her death largely unnoticed by the wider scientific community she had so profoundly influenced. Her death certificate, tragically, listed her profession not as mathematician or scientist, but as a rentier, property owner, a final, poignant life lived underestimated. It was only posthumously that her full contributions began to be truly appreciated. Her work on elasticity formed the basis for much of modern structural engineering, and her insights into number theory continue to inspire mathematicians today. The scandals of her life, her defiance of family, her use of a male pseudonym, her battles for recognition, and the systemic exclusion she faced, are now recognized not as blemishes, but as testaments to her indomitable spirit and extraordinary intellect. Sophie Germain stands as a powerful symbol of hidden genius, a woman who, against all odds, carved her own path in the hallowed halls of mathematics, leaving an indelible mark that time and prejudice could not erase. Her story is a compelling reminder of the countless brilliant minds that history may have overlooked, simply because they did not fit the conventional mold.